Let's go over 10 important things we learnt about Marvel Rivals from the recent Summer Games Fest. Also, can you spot Spider-Man in this? Like, space. I'll give you a moment. Did you see Spider-Man? He's peeking at us. That's certainly going to be interesting if nobody actually gets that there's a Spider-Man poking out from the background. In any case, as you know, I've been covering for the last few days. It's been relentless since Friday of last week, covering all the information of Discord, Q&As, interviews, and so much more from Summer Games Fest 2024. So what I thought I'd do is I'd just break it down to 10 key points, especially things that people have mentioned that I thought would be important to share or have impacts down the line in the future of the game or the closed alpha. I say closed alpha, I meant closed beta. Also, I don't mean to ask this all the time, but I am out there getting as much information as possible for you because I want to do good and right and work hard for this community. So please consider hitting the subscribe button. We're really close to 1,000 subscribers, so it would mean a lot. For free, you know, it's free to subscribe to a channel. That would mean the world to me because we are giving you that news information as regular and daily as I can. We're doing shorts. We're doing heroes and villains guides and breakdowns, news and information, of course, upcoming heroes and villains abilities, and of course these really cool theory crafting videos, which we did a Doctor Doom and villains based one, some really kick-ass villains, as well as a really cool Nightcrawler theory crafting video inspired by you, the community, in the comments, which I've been interacting with today. Now I'm going to be throwing up some B-roll in a minute, which will also have captions of things that we're discussing, so you can kind of read as it's going through some of the B-roll. This is going to be really important because it goes over 10 important things that will be coming in the future, or Marvel Rivals, the development team, answered against. It's not everything, but these are very important things which I think are important to share with you. So let's get into it. I've put this top 10 in the description if you do want to just read it from there, but this adds a little bit more context. The first thing is the beta release date. So the closed beta is going to have a release date of the end of July, with information about how to access it, whether it's console or PC, coming at the end of June. For console players, you may have to fill out a form, which may be something associated with Discord that needs to be confirmed. But also, if you're a PC player looking to access via Steam, wishlisting, they say, may be an element to it, but you will get notified once you've wishlisted it about joining, if you've been so lucky to join. So it means that there could be a wider net of people that are allowed to have ease of access to play. Number 2 is role and playstyle cadence. This is going to be something that divides the opinion of most people, especially because this came up as a discussion. The idea of how Marvel Rivals are pitching characters, not necessarily within their type of role and association, like strategist or vanguard, or whatever it is. You and tank or those at the DPS. Like there's kind of a fine line between this. There was a comment discussion which I got myself involved with today about this, how Marvel Rivals are telling you how they'd like you to play the game and how it's making it more free flowing. The problem being that it's like, okay, well you're tank, your player's tank, but the way that maybe Marvel Rivals are saying like, oh well, this is kind of a character that can do a little bit of A and a little bit of B, which is again causing a little bit of concern and something I do need to watch out from when I'm trying to like craft videos around making descriptions of characters. They are this, but in fact they're this, and I've had other people saying that, okay, well it's not necessarily a tank, but it's kind of like an offshoot. And again, we're bringing these Overwatch terminologies in, which need to be kind of like assessed as to like, how are we describing these particular characters, as you know, Marvel Rivals and the developers behind it are like, no, we're thinking it's like this. So that's something I think we just need to be a bit not concerned of, but wary of down the line as the game goes into this full release or close to full release. Monetization. So no heroes are going to be behind a paywall. It's just going to be cosmetics for the game. More info is coming soon. A battle pass system and other elements. I think it was like a units or credit based system for stuff that is going to be in the game. How you get that? Is it going to be like V-Bucks? Is it going to be like a currency? Is it going to be you buy the currency and you go and grab something? Is it going to be bundles that include this or that? This is something down the line. The game needs to make money. I said any game developer anytime. If you're looking at indie developers, then that's fine. Then that's 1, 2, or a small team of 10. But when it's a bigger game like this, it will need financial backing. And of course, being free to play to play, which is fantastic. You know, I'm just looking forward to seeing what they're doing and also how they make it fair. But there will be some elements that could be a bit of an issue to monetization. We'll talk about more of that in an upcoming point in a minute. Next up, no mobile port. This is good news in my opinion, in that a dev team should not be spread so thin. Yes, people will say, well, a different dev team, a different kind of publisher, a different type of development studio in particular could take on the mobile version. Well, that's not the point. You should really try something and work with something first and make sure it works for, you know, the main key audience, or the key ports. The key ports are PC and console. Then look to other types of port extensions. Will they go into Switch? Like, this is just, we're getting beyond kind of like expectations here. The game campaign hasn't even started off, let alone any kind of ambition. And also Netease are a mobile developer at heart. Their pedigree is in mobile games. They've done a MOBA version of a Marvel game in the past, Super War. I did actually really like that game. But trying to emulate this on the scale of mobile is pretty difficult when the technology, it is sort of there, but it isn't going to be crisp. But I would say that it would make more sense down the line for Netease to handle this, but not now. Maybe in about 2, 3, 4 years time, once the game has kind of like, you know, settled itself a bit more within the community and as well the gaming space, because it's a very difficult time in gaming. Number 5 is story narrative of the universe. The story starts off with Doctor Doom and Doctor Doom 2099 having this battle, which obviously ends in the tapestry, the story, the narrative of everything that we have in game at the moment. We learn more about the characters and the place as the game goes on, and this may be more of a season by season basis that we kind of learn, well, what's the bigger picture here? What's going on? Why are there so many Easter eggs here? Why are Spider-Verse characters taking on the Tokyo 2099? We'll learn more about this. Why is Loki in power in Asgard? You know, there's so many things to uncover about this game, and the story is going to be, I think, at the heart of it, but also something that will be learnt as time goes on. And I'm up for that, and I'm really excited about the universe that they're creating, what Earths have collided, what characters will come into it, how they fit in with their bios, because you read their bios and they tie in. So that was really cool to learn that. Next up, audio clutter. I think a lot of people that played the alpha will notice that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, hollering, a lot of ultimates being announced, and it can be sensory overload, how I describe it. And sensory overload can be a bit annoying, especially if you're looking to like give comms. I found a lot of time that I was tweaking down the audio balance just so that it wasn't so heavy in the ears. I think more so if you're having headphones on and you're trying to like just make sure everything is not so oversaturated with the extent of audio, because you've got to communicate with your teammates down the line, and making sure that it's not too crazy would just be good. So they're looking into that, and that will be toned down. Next up is servers. Whether it's beta or in general, we learned that the North America, European servers are a definite, right? Danny said that they'd fought for an Oceania, they'd fought for a North Asia and a Latin America, but it's not necessarily being confirmed that those are the ones. I think people will be running with the fact that he said it, so therefore it is, but that doesn't mean to say that there's going to be 100%. If for whatever reason there's low uptake on certain servers, if you've played any game with server support, you'll know that they merge at some stage. I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft, and then after a while things got merged. The same thing, I'm not saying this is going to be exactly the same, but what I'm saying is that don't be surprised if down the line things might merge for whatever reason, but from the time that we go into the closed alpha, so closed beta, we will definitely see this this kind of improved server coverage. And of course it's great testing for Netease to go, okay, number one, how much when it comes to uptake, and everyone get involved, but the extent of what's the server load, because again that's going to cost them money, so therefore they have to factor it into to kind of expenditure versus what return they're going to make from this game down the line. Stat changes or nerfs. This was something that took a little while for them to at least kind of tease that they were going to do. Look, I'm not going out there on my way to say, look, nerf every character that's going to be that's OP in the game. That's not the case. But I wanted to get a little bit of an assurance from the dev team that they were going to look at situations where a particular character is outputting a lot more damage than others. You know, I don't want to see Punisher get nerfed, but I feel that he will be. There's a lot of characters as well, like will Scarlet Witch's ultimate be nerfed? I hope it doesn't, but it probably will be. Those are things that we need to kind of get an idea of, like what is going to be altered and changed. But it gives the opinion from the Netease developers that they want to have something in there where you go, okay, well, if this character is being too ridiculous, like Scarlet Witch has been ridiculous, like damaging a lot, like doing a lot of damage, then what's the counter? Well, bring in, I'm going to change to this one and change on the fly to then go, okay, we'll bring in like a Punisher, again, another example, and someone else on my team brings in Rocket, and we do that team up ability, and we're able to do a lot more damage, and we're able to kind of mitigate the damage that Scarlet Witch would do. And I don't know if I get the opinion from them that that's the case. I may be paraphrasing some things that they've said, but it's from those Discord live streams. It gives me an impression that they are going to make some decisions that may, I don't know, I wouldn't say frustrate the player base, but there'll be times where you'll be like, this needs to be nerfed, and maybe won't be. And it's all about you coming up with the ideal counter in the heat of the moment, in the heat of battle to do so. I don't know if that's the case. We'll have to see down the line how they tackle these things. The next thing is open to feedback. One thing that I have been interested and enjoying is the developer taking in feedback and constructive criticisms. Like, we are in a very early stage of the game. If anybody's getting angry and salty with the developer, no, just give them feedback. Let them know what's wrong. A lot of people that were coming up with their criticisms or their frustrations about the game hadn't even bothered to go out of their way to leave feedback in relevant places to say, hey, by the way, I think that this is an issue or something that needs to be addressed. Because they can, if they don't know what to do, like someone said to me in the comments, like, oh, you used the red arrow, I'm unsubscribing. Well, give me a chance to change it. I haven't used that in very rare videos. Also, like, people have said, like, oh, I don't think you should be kind of speaking about this in this way. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll take it into consideration. Give people a chance, chat with people. A community is all about discussion, feedback, and improving. And that is why this community can be one of the best, because it is doing that. People are having that dialogue. You know, and that's the great thing. You can only make improvements if people give suggestions and also talk about these things. So this is a good start, and I think this is an important element to continue on down the line. The final thing is closed beta skins, or skins in general that are earned in the closed alpha, closed beta for console and as well PC. This is going to be so important, as you are getting super exclusive skins that won't be available any other time. That was what Danny said, that the Scarlet Witch one from the closed alpha will not be available again. It is highly unlikely. Maybe there's a chance it will come back, but let's go with highly unlikely. The PS5 players get to grab that Scarlet Spider. It also gives me this kind of indication that they're not going to make those skins as individual heroes. I'll explain myself a bit more. Alt skins, okay? So if you've got Spider-Man and he has the Scarlet Spider skin, then it gives me the impression that they're not going to create a Scarlet Spider. So if you're looking forward to that character, it's not coming. For example, and another further example, if they create a Spider-Punk, you can't go Spider-Punk if there's a skin on Spider-Man. So therefore, it's like you're not able to get a full breadth of some of those unless there's a unless something happens. I don't know. Maybe if you got the skin to say Spider-Punk and Spider-Punk comes in as an actual playable character with a moveset, then you're like, do you instantly get it? So I don't know how they're going to plan to deal with that issue, and will that affect monetization for cosmetics? Because again, you're like, well, I bought the Scarlet Spider, say, skin, and for whatever reason, well, there's a Scarlet Spider hero in game at the moment. Like, what do I do? That's something that I want to find out a bit more about. Does that mean like you're not able to get different versions of the character? I think this only really happens to Spider-Verse based ones, unless it's like an X-Men specific one. Like if you have, I don't know, Wolverine, and they then bring in Daken, but Daken has a Wolverine based skin which is similar to one that's already in game. There's examples out there. The Spider-Punk and Scarlet Spider are the best ones I can find as examples of those skins, but I'm sure there's a lot more. But yeah, anyway, that's been the video. Yes, thank you very much for watching. Those are 10 things that I thought were important from the Discord Q&A and as well live streams that were done at Summer Games Fest to share with you, that I think are going to be just really, really important for the closed beta and as well the future of the game. We'll of course learn more yeah, I'm going to be back to creating some really kind of fun and interesting videos. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and what are your thoughts on some of the things that have been mentioned? And yeah, thanks very much for watching and supporting. See you soon. Bye-bye.